Okay, we're still working on division. In our previous video, we dealt with 2 times divided by 2 to get remainder. So you have to watch that video before you can get this. If you don't watch that video, I don't think you'll be able to understand this if you don't understand division with remaining. Okay, now we have one. We're going to start with 1 divided by 3. 1 divided by 3. Now 1 is smaller than 3, of course. So since 1 is smaller than 3, you have 0 remaining 1. Because if you read your 3 times table, you get 1. So 1 is smaller, right? So 0 remaining 1. So what about if we have 2 divided by 3? Now 2 divided by 3. If you read 3 times table, you still won't get 2. 2 is still smaller than 3. So since 2 is smaller than 3, 2 divided by 3 is still 0. Now remaining this 2, you didn't use the 2. Remember, we are trying to put our answers in whole numbers. We're trying to put our answers in whole numbers. So 1 divided by 3 is 0 remaining 1. 0 remaining 1. Because 0 is smaller. 2 divided by 3 is 0 remaining 2. We didn't use the 2 at all. Now, what about 3 divided by 3? Now, if you read the 3 times table, you should be able to get 3. 3 times what will give you 3? 3 times 1. So since 3 times 1, 3 times what will give you this 3? 3 times 1 will give you 3. So since 3 times 1 is 3, that means 3 divided by 3 is 1. Looking at this here, 3 times 1 is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. Right? So let's go on. Okay, so the next question is 4 divided by 3. Now, what's 4 divided by 3? If you read 3 times table, will you get 4? No, you won't get 4. Now, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. So 4, we can notice that 4 is between 3 and 6. So we have to ask ourselves another question using that 3 up there. So the question we ask ourselves is, what is 3 divided by 3? What is 3 divided by 3? Now, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So if 3 divided by 3 is 1, that means 4 divided by 3 will also be 1. But now for that 4, there's going to be a remainder, so we have to subtract. Now, when we subtract, 4 minus 3 is 1. So that means 4 divided by 3 is going to be 1, remaining 1. Okay, let's do another question. Okay, 5 divided by 3. Now, if you read 3 times table, 3 times what will give you 5? You won't see 5 in the answer for 3 times. So 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. But you notice that 5 is also between 3 and 6. So we have to ask ourselves the question in another way, using that 3 up there. So we say, what is 3 divided by 3? Now, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So that means 5 divided by 3 is also 1. But 5 divided by 3 will have a remainder. How do we get the remainder? We're going to subtract. What's 5 minus 3? 5 minus 3 is what? 2. So that means 5 divided by 3 is going to give you 1, remaining 2. So let's do some more examples. Okay, so what is 6 divided by 3? Of course, if you read the 3 times table, you get 6. 3 times 1, 3, 3 times 2, 6. Ooh, 3 times 2 is 6. So that means 6 divided by 3 is 2. That's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Okay, what about 7 divided by 3? Now, if you read the 3 times table, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. You won't get 7, right, as the answer. No. So 7 is between 6 and 9. So remember, we have to ask ourselves the question another way. We'll use the smaller number, which is 6. You don't use the bigger number, you have to use the smaller number. So you use 6. 6 divided by 3. So you have to ask yourself the question in another way. What is 6 divided by 3? 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now, if 6 divided by 3 is 2, that means that 7 divided by 3 would also be 2. But now, for 7 divided by 3, there has to be a remainder. How do you get remainder? Remember, we have to subtract 7 minus 6. It's 1. So that means 7 divided by 3 will be 2, remaining 1. Let's do more examples. Now, we have 8 divided by 3. If you read 3 times table, I don't think you will get 8 as an answer. 3 times 1, 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. So there is no 8. But you will notice that 8 is between 6 and 9. So because 8 is between 6 and 9, we ask ourselves the question using 6. So we ask ourselves, what is 6 divided by 3? Now, 6 divided by 3 is 2. So because 6 divided by 3 is 2, 8 divided by 3 would also be 2. Now, if 8 divided by 3 is 2, there will be a remainder for 8. There's no remainder for 6, but for 8, there will be a remainder. How do we get it? We subtract. We subtract this 6 from 8. When you subtract, you get 8 minus 6 is 2. That means 8 divided by 3 is 2 remaining 2. Right? Let's do some more examples. Okay, now we have 9 divided by 3. Now, 9 divided by 3, if you read the 3 times table, you see it's 9 divided by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So that means 3 times 3 is 9. 9 divided by 3 will give you 3. What if we have 10 divided by 3? 10 divided by 3, if you read 3 times table, you will get 10. But you will notice that 10 is between 9 and 12. So which one do we use? Do we use 12? No, we won't use 12 because 12 is bigger than 10. So what are we going to use? We're going to use 9, the smaller one. Yeah, because 10 is between 9 and 12. So we use 10 and we use 9. So as we ask ourselves the question using 9, what is 9 divided by 3? Now we already know that 9 divided by 3 is 3. So that means 10 divided by 3 will also be 3. But 10 will have a remainder, so we have to subtract. What's 10 minus 9? 1. So that means 10 divided by 3 will be 3, remaining 1. So 2 more examples, we are done. Okay, now this person says 23 divided by 3. Oh, so we have to read 3 times. So 3 times 1, 3, 3 times 2, 6, 3 times 3, 9, 3 times 4, 12. We're looking for 23, remember. It's 23 we're looking for. 3 times 4, 12. 3 times 5, 15. 3 times 6, 18. 3 times 7, 21. 3 times 8, 24. 24 is already more than 23. So that means 23 is between 21 and 24. It's here. So what are we going to use to ask ourselves the question? We'll use 21. We won't use 24. 24 is bigger. Remember, 23 is between 21 and 24. So we have to use 21. So we put 21 here. We ask ourselves, what is 21 divided by 3? Now, and what is 21 by 3? 3 times 4 to give you 21. You can see that 3 times 7 is 21. That means 21 divided by 3 is 7. So if 21 divided by 3 is 7, that means 23 divided by 3 will also be 7. But now 23 divided by 3, we have a remainder. How do we do that? We subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. 3 minus 1 is 2. So that means the remainder will be 2. Remainder 2. So that means 23 divided by 3 is 7, remaining 2. One more example and we're done. So we have 20 divided by 3. So what is 20 divided by 3? Now, if you read 3 times table, 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 6, 3 times 3, 9, 3 times 1. If you read it 3 times 6, 18. 3 times 7, 21. So there's no 20 there, but 20 is between 18 and 21. So remember, you can't use 21. What do you use? 18. So we ask ourselves the question using 18. What is 18 divided by 3? Now, 18 divided by 3, because 3 times 6 is 18, 18 divided by 3 is 6. Now, since 18 divided by 3 is 6, that means 20 divided by 3 will also be 6. So, if 20 divided by 3 is 6, 20 divided by 3 will have a remainder. How do we do that? We subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. 0 minus 8 is negative number. I borrow 1 here, 0. I put it here. 10 minus this is 2. So that means it's 6 remaining 2. So that means 20 divided by 3 is 6 remaining 2. Easy peasy. So if you don't understand, you need to go over the video again and before you attempt my questions. Thank you for now.